One of the up-and-coming flashcasts I want to explore is how to be a great seller. I get asked all the time, how do you build a sales team? How do you make sales? I urge you, send in your questions, send in your thoughts around this topic of sales, and I'll answer them on FlashCast by PDB. Hi, Philip Di Bella, and you're listening to FlashCast by PDB. Today, I have the wonderful privilege again to have my wife, Gianna Di Bella, on the show. GianaDiBella.com, GianaDiBella.com. You can find out more about Gianna and her business, where she mindset coaches from single people to businesses to teams, something she loves and she's passionate about. It's great to have her back on the show. Gianna, welcome.
Hi again, everyone. Great to be here.
Now, today, I want to talk about the human brain. This is something that Gianna's done a lot of work around, a lot of courses that she's done that she's going to elaborate on in a minute, but a lot of around the brain and how it can rewire itself and how to get the best out of what's going on between our ears, because it is the engine room and it is a question that comes up. And I've had a lot of people send me stuff in about how my brain works and how do I get the best out of it and utilize it. So I thought, why not bring in somebody who's done a lot more work around this space than myself? So, Gianna, maybe kick off with telling us a little bit about some of the courses you've done around the brain.
Okay, so I've done more recently a course around brain-based coaching, and what that does is it brings into focus the research that has been uncovered about the brain. And we know more about the brain in the last 20 years than we ever have. And the course really focused on how you can use your brain in a brain-friendly way to get the most out of what you need in life.
And some of the tips there, that, you know, the key takeaways from that course that come to mind. What were some of the key takeaways that you found that the listeners could perhaps adopt? And there needs to be 2 or 3.
So we have a basic neurology in our brain that leads us into a lot of programs in our lives, which sometimes keep us limited. So a lot of the courses, for example, one of the models that I use a lot is SCARF, and that model focuses around how the brain reacts to emotion just as much as it reacts to a fight or flight situation in the same way. So SCARF stands for status, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness. So anytime that we have a threat in a status situation, we go into a flight mode. The same when we're not certain about things in our lives, we can go into fight or flight mode. The same with autonomy, fairness, and relatedness. So knowing those things about ourselves and how our brain works can really help us prepare for more difficult conversations. It can help us in a variety of areas in our life.
So obviously very useful information there. Would you suggest keeping a log? I mean, something that I used to obviously work for me was that I would write down, and I know that you do this with our children, is that you get them to write down their emotion. You obviously believe that that's a good way to handle that?
Yes, I think often because we are so habitual human beings, our subconscious mind makes up 95% of the way we go about doing things. So making what is subconscious conscious by writing it down and naming that emotion can be very useful in dampening down the amygdala.
Of course, it's also what we see. If we see it on paper, we take away that human element of having our own conversation leading down the wrong area, right? Something I tell listeners all the time, pen and paper never lie. So when we see something in front of us, and of course you talk a lot about some people are visual learners, some are auditory learners, and some go about, learning by reading and all the rest of it. So it really is key in you, the listener, doing what works for you, but understanding that little bit of theory that Gianna's expressed with you will help you better understand it, but then go about things that work for you, because not everybody learns in the same way. So another one that I'm really interested in, Gianna, is recently you've just completed the Joe Dispenza, where we had to play dad for the week, which I loved, but you were getting up at 4 a.m. and going to bed at 8 p.m. with the courses and 4-hour meditations every day. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And a lot of you out there, if you haven't heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza, I suggest suggest you Google and start listening to some of the amazing work that he does and the power of what he can do around neuroscience and all the rest of it. But Gianna, can you tell us a bit about Joe Dispenza and his work, and then tell us a little bit about the course?
Gosh, that could take all day. Joe Dispenza is an amazing individual, but what is most amazing, and he's creating a real movement, is because he uses science to explain a lot of what has been previously based in spirituality and religion, and has a science-based way of explaining how we tap into the most powerful part of ourselves, which is our subconscious mind. The meditations are really useful because they help you focus, clarify, and manifest. And really, it really helps to be able to have that time to yourself, whether it is through meditation, whether it's through visualization, just to quieten the mind and to really take the chatter away so that we can get to our truest sense of ourselves.
So it's all about bringing what's out of focus into focus, right?
Yes, completely. And I think that if I had to sum up the issues that I'm confronted with coaching clients, it's exactly that. A lot of people, there's so much distraction going on in our world, and we all know it because technology is advancing so quickly that our human brain hasn't evolved to a situation where we can cope with all the incoming inputting information. So developing strategies like meditation can really help people calm the mind and get the most out of ourselves.
And of course, something that I personally do when people say, how can your brain deal with so much, Philip? It's obviously I've got a very organised brain where I classify stuff into personal, professional and family, and write down what I want to achieve and then put down what, the people I need around me. But meditation is something that you've obviously brought into my life, and it helps. And obviously our kids too, our 10-year-old and 8-year-old, if they're struggling sleeping or they've had a busy day, they'll often ask, can we listen to meditation to quieten the mind? And it is all about getting rid of that distraction and bringing what's out of focus back into focus. So, of course, it's amazing. But again, guys, have a look at Dr. Joe Dispenza and the work that he's doing. He's got another course coming up in April in 2019. He sells out very quickly. Gianna's going again with some friends of hers. It's a fantastic thing, and it's a resource. And again, these flashcasts about having conversations and sharing knowledge, but it's also about sharing resources with you so that you can go and do some more research and adapt and apply what means to you. Gianna, key takeaways for yourself. If you had to give some people a couple of pieces of advice when it comes to their brain and how to best utilize it, what would it be?
I really think that taking away the chatter is a really important strategy that we all need to employ as our world gets faster and faster. So that would be number one, whether you do that through meditation, visualization, journaling, whatever strategy you use, the outcome really needs to be to quieten the mind. Another strategy would be to always be constantly aware of where you're at, what's going on in that mind of ours, so that we can redirect, because at every point, in every way, and every day, we are creating our own reality.
Yeah, fantastic. Great two pieces of nuggets there. Something that I use and I've seen other people do is Post-it notes. Some people, I use my phone rather than Post-it notes, and I have a note section and the rest of it. I've seen other people put Post-it notes up with an ideas board. Our children have done vision boards with pictures and what they want to do. What does university look like and all the rest of it. So some really great tips there. Remember, it's all about you. It's your journey. Be the best you can be. Gianna, thank you for being part of the show again. It's always a pleasure to have you. You know how it's an honour and how intelligent I think you are. And it's great for you to share your wisdom with the listeners. Thanks for being part of the show.
I think I need to come on this show more often. I'm hearing so many nice things about myself.
Yeah, okay, enough of that. So if you haven't subscribed already, get on board. FlashCast by PDB. Share with your friends. It's all about you. Limitations are often self-imposed. Don't be going about putting limitations on yourself. Go and be the best you can be. Phil Di Bella here. You've just heard from Giana Di Bella, who talked about a lot about meditation. For those of you that have never ever done meditation or been involved with it, I suggest that you seek it out. There's many ways you can do that. You can start with YouTube. YouTube's got some really great meditations. I use two apps on my phone. One is called Calm, CALM, and another one is Relax Melodies. So depending on what mood I'm in, I have two apps on my phone that allow me to tap into it, and they've got some great kids meditations as well. So you've heard Giana talk about meditation. Those of you that have never tried it, Calm and Relax Melodies are really two good apps to go about doing it, or even just Googling, going to YouTube and downloading something there and trying. The key that I found in getting into it, because I'm not an expert meditator, I obviously work on getting better at it each time, is that you will be distracted, and that is normal. Remember that. Persistence is key. So every time your mind wants to go in a different direction, come back to the voice that's talking to you. Listen to the voice. It's that simple. Listen to the voice that's guiding you through the meditation. And every time you drift away, come back to the voice and breathe. The key to it is breathing. So guys, good luck with it. It's a great part of your life once you nail it. Do it on a plane. Do it before bed. Do it when you wake up. Do it whatever suits you, in the bathtub, in the shower, whatever works for you. It's all about quietening the mind. You had some great nuggets there from Gianna Di Bella. GianaDiBella.com. You can find out more about it. Get in there and learn the art of meditation. You're listening to Philip Di Bella, FlashCast by PDB.